Hello, my name is Kim Lanman. I'm your professor for the Introduction to the Old Testament. And welcome, and I hope that we learn a lot together. I have been teaching at MacU for about 4 years, and before that, most of my career has been as a pastor. I live now in Oklahoma City with my wife of 39 years, and we are happy to be here because it puts us near our two married daughters who also have graduated from this institution, and also near our two very young granddaughters that give us great joy. I am glad to be teaching this course. I remember sitting in this course when I attended this institution many years ago, actually before it was called MacU. At that time it was Gulf Coast Bible College, before the campus moved from Houston to Oklahoma City. And I was a little overwhelmed in Old Testament because there's so much to read, so much to remember, besides the fact that there's some real confusing things. So what's the deal with this creation account, or arguments about, is it a scientific account? Is it a poetic statement saying God did it? And so much to learn. And the covenants and the faithfulness of God and the faithlessness of the people, and how God was always calling them back. And so there's just so much in the Old Testament that I'm glad to be with you to sort some of that out and to get some perspective that help you read the Old Testament and help the Old Testament inform your understanding of the New Testament. It is so important. Beginnings, our knowledge of God, our knowledge of what it means to follow Him and walk with Him. In fact, in 1 Corinthians 15, Paul says that Jesus died for our sins according to the Scriptures. Well, what were those Scriptures? The New Testament hadn't been formed yet. And so it was the Old Testament. And in Luke, in that account when Jesus was walking with the disciples on the Emmaus Road, he started in the Scriptures and showed them why everything had to happen exactly as it did. He was using the Old Testament. It's what Jesus studied and learned and memorized and quoted. He quotes the Psalms so much, and so there's much for us to gain as we look into the Old Testament. And I hope that you will approach it as a learner, not just, okay, I kind of already know, I've been around church, but that you will approach it prayerfully, saying, okay, Lord, show me what I need to learn that I haven't seen yet, because there's always more. So we will continue to grow. I not only took this course in Bible college, but I took it in seminary, and every time I study it and teach it, I think, how did I miss this? It's really important, and this gives me new perspective. And so I hope that can be your experience as well. And I pray that God will open our eyes together and help us to understand Him and what it means to be faithful to Him and learn something about His faithfulness to us. So welcome to the class. You will need to take note of my post about office hours and the calendar of when things are due, and we will proceed together. So again, welcome.